Resurrection Day for the family and the new one.
Yeah, family's doing great. Yesterday was great. It's a great Sunday, being able to go to church and worship and go out and get Sunday brunch and eat too much. So,
So you
but
go
it's
run the hill.
yeah, I do. I do. I should be working out with the guys.
You guys recently did a new deal for Jalen, and you had talked about how you guys felt about him for years. What do it mean to get that done, to know that he's going to be a Texan long term?
Jalen represents everything that you want in a player and a person. He's consistent, hardworking. He's very dedicated to putting the team first and doing whatever it takes for the team to be successful. And he's been just an outstanding young man to work with. So I'm fired up for Jalen. Jalen was a truly impact player for us. When he was on the field, he was all over the place causing havoc, and we expect to see the same for a long time. So I'm excited for Jalen, happy for him, and it's just I think just a cool example of a guy who puts his head down, works hard, does things the right way, and he's rewarded for it. And that's one beauty of this game, playing in the NFL, what it provides for you and your family. Jalen is representative of everything that you can ask for.
First days of voluntary workouts like for you as a coach, and what is the message that you really try to instill on the first day?
Being that it's our first day of OTAs, we get excited as coaches to have players back in the building. It's also limited. We can't actually get on the field with the guys, and a lot of people would like to, but it's just meetings with our guys. They go out, they work with our strength and conditioning coaches, working in the weight room and also on the field, doing some conditioning. But it's just it's such an energy lifter having everyone back in the building, just feel the buzz. It's been quiet around here for a while. Kicked the rodeo out, so we're good to go. But it's been quiet for a while around our building, so to have the guys back and them to impact our building, you feel the joy, you feel the connection, new guys, old faces, everybody just coming together. It's a 2025 Texans. That's what's exciting, to see how this team will come together, and today is just the beginning of that.
Leading up to today, Coach, leading up to the draft, does it get any stressful knowing that you all have to make the right decisions, or feel like you have to make the right decisions on picking the right players that fit the needs of this team?
Draft is an exciting time, right? No one really knows how the draft is going to shape out. You don't know who's trading up, who's moving out. So it's an exciting time to add new players to your team. There are a lot of good quality guys to add to our team, and we're excited about that. A lot of great young men coming out in this year's draft. Guys work hard, put themselves in a great position to be drafted, and we take it how it comes. We feel like, we're in a good spot as a team, and we want to continue to add young, talented guys who can come in and help us out in any way that they can.
Hey, DeMeco, you guys have had kind of a busy offseason. Kind of two things happening, getting ready for the draft, start of OTAs. What's the most important thing for the guys to do or know or learn in OTAs this time of year?
Most important thing for me, what I asked our guys today in our meeting, is just be where your feet are. Right? We have a limited amount of time to be here. Let's be where our feet are. Let's be connected. Let's talk to our teammates. Let's not walk around with our heads down on our cell phone all the time, eyes up, eating lunch with each other, truly connecting with one another, and we'll improve upon the football. Right? It's about you put the right work in, you'll get better at your craft, but let's get better at connecting. Let's get better at the football, coming in with the right attitude, an attitude to learn, attitude to grow. If you come in with that mindset, guys will really maximize these 9 weeks we have here in the offseason.
DeMeco, you mentioned how much of that is the culture now that you have established. In fact, y'all can't be on the field. How much does the culture actually take over and bring those guys in and making just create that emotion for them the guys can go ahead and pick it up and take it on without y'all being out there on the field?
We have a really solid group of guys who've been here. They understand, right, who I am. They understand my mentality, my approach, and what I expect out of guys. So it's not so much of me, so much of messaging of how we do things, or what those guys can carry along the message, right? They can follow CJ, follow Will, follow Jalen, follow a lot of guys who've done it the right way. They've seen how I've operated for the past 2 years. So coaches, we don't need to be out there. We know we have really good leadership on our team, guys who do it the right way, guys who bring other guys along, and guys who expect to build a winning culture here. And so they just follow those guys, they'll fit in just fine.
The evaluation process with Nick and the staff, for you specifically, was there any certain position group that stood out throughout the draft that maybe is a little bit deep or that you feel really confident is going to hit the next level?
For me, it was not just one certain position group that stands out in a draft. I think so. A lot of good players, a lot of different positions. Just kind of make sure we want to just add the right guys who can help us out.
When it comes to the culture, given the fact that a lot of the kids that you're talking to are younger and they're not fully developed, is there any development in when you talk to them? They might not be what you completely want right now, but they can develop into that.
The one thing I always tell my coaches is we're here for a reason. We're coaches, right? You're here to teach. You're here to develop and grow young men. And that's our job and something we should all take pride in. You don't want a finished product. No one's a finished product. A lot of the guys we're talking to are 21 years old. Where were we when we were all 21, right? We've all grown a lot since being 21, right, in a lot of different areas. And it's the same thing, the same mindset and approach you take when you're drafting a young guy. How are you going to help? Where of course he has the talent. He wouldn't be getting drafted if he didn't have the talent. He has that talent. So now what are you doing as a coach, as a teacher to enhance his skill set, make him better, give him more tools to work with, put in his tool belt so he can become better as a player, but also as a man off the field. And that's where coaches really shine. The coaches who can develop guys and help them maximize their potential, those are the coaches who are really great and they stick around the league for a long time.
Over the years, as you've done it more and had more focus on it, in what ways do you feel like you've personally grown as a scout and being able to identify players, that can help you in this team?
Not where I want to be as a scout, but I'm still working. It's a tough process, right? It's time consuming and it takes a lot of work, right, to really see where a guy is and to see the potential in, first off, what's his role for your team. I think that's always at the forefront of our mind when you're watching a guy. Yeah, he's a good player. How does he fit within our team, right? And what will that role be? And how are you going to enhance him once he gets here? So it's, my eye for talent is hopefully I'm getting the right guys in here, talent-wise, but also getting the good people, as I've said before. But I wish I could see more Will Andersons. That makes it a lot easier when I see a guy who works as hard as he works and it shows up, on the film and just the person that he is. You see guys that way, that makes it a lot easier to scout. But
talk about Derek Stingley a little bit. You mentioned Jalen, but young guy like that, to see him come and know you're going to have him for a minute.
Really, really pleased with Stingley and what he's done, how he's grown. Talk about that growth and how coaches help guys develop. Stingley is a very talented guy coming out of LSU, and to see his game just improve year after year since he's been in the league, that's what it's about. It's about seeing that growth, seeing that development. Coach Dino has done a great job of working with Stingley, and Stingley has done a great job of putting in the work to get better, hone his craft, and then become one of the top corners in this league, where a lot of people don't want to throw to his side because they know if you put it up there, he could probably go take the ball away. So he's earned that. He's earned that respect, and that's what it looks like. That's growth. That's development. That's what excites me as a coach. And when you do it that way, you get a really nice contract. Hopefully he can buy his coach some dinner one day.
Coach, you said at the NFL Combine, and then Nick reiterated it last week, that you all don't draft for need. You draft, I guess, best player available. But how much of the need and the best player available go hand in hand when it's time for you to pick?
That's always the big talk in the draft, like need, best available. For us, we're going to take the best guy on the board. We won't just pass up a top player on our board just because we have a need at a certain position. It's okay to enhance and have a really strong position group if the draft falls that way. So you go in, there's no handcuffs on, hey, we have to draft this certain position and we're stuck at only looking at this position. No, we have a broad view of how we want to enhance our team, and it's not just looking at it, in I guess in a tight lens of it's only one way. Like we open, like if it's a position there, if it's a player that can really change our team, like we're going to take that guy. So that's where we talk about not truly drafting for need. We want to take the best players who are on our board.
What swarm mentality that you preach, the swarm mentality that you preach, that fire inside, when you're looking at evaluating these prospects or meeting with them, is that something they either have or they don't, or do you believe that it's something that you can develop over time should they be in the building?
The mentality that I'm looking for in guys when I meet them in person, I just want to get a feel for their love for football. And that's really what separates guys in my mind. And you can tell, asking the right questions, you can see how dedicated a guy is to really growing and being better, being coachable and wanting to grow. You see the film and how a guy finishes, what effort a guy puts in, what is a guy doing away from football, away from the set schedule, what is he doing to prepare himself on his own as a player. That speaks to me as far as a guy's mindset and his willingness to play with all out effort, to play with that physicality that we like to see. So some guys definitely have it, and it can be enhanced in other guys. Just you have to get a sense of what guys have been taught as well from their college programs, and you see, how you can help guys get better in that regard.
What type of impact does the new offensive direction have on the draft process and how you guys put together that board, and then ultimately how you go about making those selections?
Yeah, with our new offense, the process is get great offensive players. That helps us, right? It's coaches, all coaches around anywhere would say, man, you get great players, that helps you coach better. So we're looking for talented young men at all positions. It's been great working with Kaylee. Kaylee's done a great job of just setting the tone this morning in the meeting. As his energy is going to be very infectious amongst our team, not only the offense, but just our team, and how he prepares every day, how he brings elite energy. It's going to rub off on everybody. So I'm excited for our guys to continue to, install our offensive scheme and continue to work with him.
Nick, another player. DeMeco,
I'm not Nick. I know people say we do look alike. So I get it.
DeMeco, a player that you added this offseason, DJ Speed at the linebacker spot. How does he fit in with this system, and what do you think he provides, and what did you like about him when he was in Indianapolis?
EJ fits our scheme just because he's fast, long, athletic playmaker. Right? He made a ton of tackles, over 100 tackles his previous year. EJ was a young player coming out of Tarleton State that he started out as a special teams player, and he showed that growth, became a starter, was an impact player for Indy, and we were looking for him to do the same. Just come in, compete, do what he's been doing, play fast, make plays all across the field, and we feel like he can really help us.
DeMeco, you talked about the energy coming back into the building here. Is there a player that, with guys coming back, that's really stood out to you about attacking this offseason the right way and kind of stood out to you these first days back?
The players that have stood out to me, only one day in, but we've had a lot of guys working out here since the end of February, just on their own, volunteering, coming in, working out with our strength staff, really just diving into the process of getting better at their craft. So it's been really cool to see just the group of guys and how tight those guys have gotten over the time that no one else is around, but they're putting the work in the weight room, on the field, doing their conditioning. That's what's really stood out to me. We had a group of over 20 guys who've been in the building. So that speaks to just what our team is about, the culture of our team. Like, guys want to be around each other. They want to work out together, and they see the value and benefit in that. And that's it's been fun as a coach, right, to be able to just sit back and watch guys. You don't have to ask them to do it. Like, that's when you see the culture is shifting and it's becoming a player-led team.
Who led that charge? Do you know who led that charge in getting the group together this offseason?
There's been a lot of different groups, a lot of different positions. Talk about our defensive backs have been here, offensive line, defensive linemen. It's been a lot of different guys that have been here. No one particular player has led the charge. It's been a collective effort.
There was a lot of buzz. Obviously, you guys made some big moves, things of that nature. This year, you guys have kind of been more under the radar. What do you think has been the biggest difference from last year around this time to this year around this time?
Ooh, I wish I can remember last year around this time. A lot of changes in a year. But for me, man, it's always, review mirror. Last year is behind us. As I mentioned to our guys today, like, how will the 2025 Texans be remembered? And that's all that matters. Like, as we press forward, as we lean into this new year, new season, like, how will we be remembered? And if we put our heads down, we work the right way, we become a tight unit, we'll have, something very special in the end to talk about.
What have you seen from CJ this offseason? Obviously last year to him he didn't like how it ended. I know a lot of guys didn't like how it ended, but what have you seen from him as he attacked this offseason?
CJ's been working out. He's been dedicated to his craft. He's been putting the work in throughout the offseason. It's what you expect from your leader, from your quarterback. So I'm excited to see how he attacks the next 9 weeks as well, being around all of his teammates.
So is it fair to say that some positions in the draft, and maybe it changes every year, you can get quality players later depending on position, or does it just change every year in terms of where you find people? And the reason I ask that is I know that this organization's done a really good job of identifying super talented receivers later in the draft. Is that because just the years that happens, or are there some positions where you can find those gems later?
Yeah, great question, Kim. I think it is a year-by-year basis of, what does that group of players look like, where some groups, I think the question was earlier, are there some groups deeper than others? Some years there are, and you are able to find, talent in those mid to late rounds. And again, this year you also have to kind of see how the draft board falls, because there are always guys in the draft who you think are going very high, and then you look up in a mid-round and you had a guy graded very high and he's still sitting there, and you're like, wow, well, I didn't have this guy graded in this spot, but he's there. There's the value pick that you were able to get. So it's all about just letting the draft process just play out, all right, being open-minded throughout the draft and knowing that anything can happen, right? It's you never know what we have picks. You never know, is that going to be the pick that we take? Are we moving up? Are we moving back? So everybody just hold your seat and watch out.
Coach, I know that you all get a chance to evaluate a lot of these players that are coming in the draft on film. So when you talk to them at the combine, does that also dictate if you're going to bring them in for a visit here? And what is the difference in interviewing them there and interviewing them here?
Talking to guys at the combine, we get about 15 to 20 minutes to talk to guys, and that process is very quick. Right? So you do get that. For me, I get that initial meeting, get a chance to talk to a guy, see how he's communicating, get to learn a little bit about his background. But 20 minutes is just, it's too fast, right, to truly get to know a guy. So when we bring them in on 30 visits, they get to spend a day here with us. So we get much more time to sit a guy down, talk to him, talk through film with him, right, talk through his background. Again, he gets a chance to meet with our coordinators, position coaches, special teams coaches. Like, they go through the entire gamut of meeting everyone in the building of who they will interface with on a day-to-day basis when they're here, if we drafted them. So everybody in the building gets a really good feel for the personality and to see if that personality fits in our building. Now, there are some great players who may not fit the Houston Texans, and that's okay. I'm pulling for all these guys to be successful in the NFL, however that looks. But we want to find the best, however many, 7, 8 guys that we're able to pick this year. We want to find those best guys who have the best fit for us, not only play style-wise, but also personality. All right. Thank you, guys.